That's goddess energy. That's brave, that's sacred, that's so human in the way that we want to be human. Saying to someone, I hear you. I don't actually have the answers for you right now.
It's not fixing, it's listening without armor. And putting down your armor is the hardest thing I think I've ever done.
But yeah, everyone wants to say they're not ready or qualified. I'm like, that tells me that you are.
Right.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Going Goddess, where we reclaim our power, trust our intuition, and lead from the soul. Today's episode is all about leadership. Not the corporate buzzword kind, but the real, raw, revolutionary kind of leadership. I'm Cherry.
Yep, and I'm Silver Luna. And today we're talking about what it means to lead like a goddess. To lead with empathy, vulnerability, truth, and of course, unapologetic courage. Because leadership isn't just for titles and corner offices, it's how we show up in our friendships, families, communities, and our businesses. Like we talked about on the last episode, being holistically successful means showing up as your best self in all scenarios and in all areas of your life. That tracks for leadership as well.
Facts. Whether you're building a brand, raising babies, holding space, or holding vision, you are a leader. No title necessary. The leadership we're talking about here is completely about taking leadership, the leadership role in your own life. And so today we're really going to give you the permission slip to lead boldly with softness and strength. It's a dance.
Yes, it is. So let's start with this truth. Leadership is not about control. It's about connection.
Boom. That's so important. I know that so many times in life, I have been with leaders who just see themselves up on this mountain and just expect all of us to respect them and just give them all we got to get the project done or whatever. And it's like, you don't even know my name. You don't know anything about me. There's no connection there. I think leadership is really about being brave enough to go first, to speak truthfully, to speak boldly, to model integrity, even when your voice shakes. And we've been talking a lot about that with our morning lives with Silver Luna, reading through Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. It really is being called to take the dare to lead. It's not just like a reward or a gift or something. It's a challenge.
Yeah, I completely agree. I struggle frequently with my voice shaking. It happens in every presentation I give at work. Even in the last episode recording, I don't know if anybody caught it, but at the very beginning, my voice was shaking because it's just, it takes courage. And also a leader, I agree, it takes knowing your people and not telling somebody to do something. Do as I ask, not as I say.
Definitely. And I love what you said there, about even giving presentations and your voice shakes. And you're giving a presentation because you have been identified as a leader at your work. And the way that you lead the deals that you have, the way that you lead conversations with your colleagues. And so also leadership doesn't look like, I guess, what we think it looks like, or necessarily looks or sounds like what our perceptions were or what society tells us it has to look like.
Right.
And so you can absolutely be an incredibly impactful leader, even if your voice shakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's just a part of getting used to being a leader. I think the voice shaking will loosen up in time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it also comes from confidence, becoming a leader does take courage. And so the first steps in becoming a leader is growing into that courage box, stepping onto that pedestal and saying, I am good enough to be doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And when your voice shakes, it's because you're not sure of yourself. You're not sure that you really deserve to be on that pedestal yet. Even if it's a recognition call and you know that you deserve it, it still feels a little surreal at times. And back to the imposter syndrome, it always creeps up. It's a battle you constantly have to fight.
Yes. Way to feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yes.
I think that's leaders are called every day, multiple times a day, to feel the fear and do it anyway. That's what we do as leaders. We model, we do the scary thing, we eat the frog, we hold the space and create the space so that the people that we're leading can show up to the best of their abilities and maybe they're like, I don't want to be the first one to take that like big jump. And as a leader, that's what you've signed up to do.
Mm-hmm. Precisely. That is exactly what you signed up to do. But why shy away from it? That's exactly what we're trying to step into in our goddess journey. You know?
Yes.
Don't run from it. Don't let it shake.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So real leadership is learning how to hold both fierce boundaries and open hearts.
Mm.
It's knowing when to stand firm and when to lean in. It's
Mm.
knowing when to take that leap and to hold space for others that might not be in the same space as you yet.
Yeah, it really is a dance.
It
It
really is.
really is like finessing connection, your energy, like your vulnerability, overcoming fear, and doing it in a way that's like not like frantic, like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm just like, I mean, sometimes it's like that, but there's also like some stability that's required, like some just like boldness and like firmness and in your vulnerability, even. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what I'm doing, and I have signed up to figure out what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that for you guys. Let's do it together. I really love, Brene Brown's work here. She
Mm-hmm.
says, you can't get to courage without rumbling with vulnerability. That's goddess energy.
It's
That's
yes.
brave, that's sacred, that's so human in the way that we want to be human.
Yeah, I agree. Vulnerability is like the epitome of humanity. And taking that away from somebody is taking away the power of the connection.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't lead without that. Without
Yeah.
vulnerability, it's just not possible. That's when you become a boss.
True. And not the good boss, because there are good boss.
Yeah,
like yeah.
that's true.
But
There's good bosses, but there's like bosses that aren't leaders. They're just a boss. They're my manager. They're somebody that tells you what to do.
tyrants, kind of like dictators.
Exactly.
We've all had dictator bosses before. Not a
Mm,
great experience.
no, not at all. I actually really have been very fortunate in the last couple of positions that I've had. My current role, my manager is so supportive. Even whenever I had that issue a couple months ago with the CCM, he was there to hold open doors for me and talk to the management whenever he could help.
So good.
And then my manager before that, she was amazing. So it's something I feel so grateful for every day
Yeah.
because not everybody has that.
No, they really don't. Like when I got laid off a year and a half ago, no, yeah, no, almost 2 years ago now, excuse me. All of my mentors were like, okay, well, what are you looking for in an organization? And I had just seen my leadership at where I was working at the time, like totally implode. And it was such a great organization for the first year and a half I was there. And then they brought someone into a leadership role that wasn't aligned with everyone like in the organization. They didn't have a clear, I guess, understanding of the mission and the vision of the organization, or they did and they wanted to make it their own.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw how that seriously derailed an entire organization. They went through 4 rounds of layoffs that year. And so when my mentors asked me like, okay, well, at your next position, like what are the things that are really important to you? One of the things that I'm looking for at any organization is aligned leadership.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I want to help the patient experience. I want to help reduce provider burnout. I want aligned leadership. And they were like, all of those things are good, except for the aligned leadership part. That doesn't really happen. That's like not a thing. I was like, no, there are orgs out here. You're right. It's not the norm. It's not the norm because people climb in the corporate world, climb and they just want that C-suite seat and that position. And then they feel a lot of times like they're kind of done. And I'm not saying every C-suite person or whatever, but I understand where we can get lost in the sauce of leadership, if you will, as you move your way up the corporate ladder and having your own agendas and stuff. And so, and also the person that you work for determines your happiness at work. Like
Absolutely.
you could just be, I don't know. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, but if I love the people that I'm working with and I can trust the person, like my boss, my leader, they're going to have my back if I'm sick, if I need something, they're going to listen to me. Like if I have that leadership, I could be like picking strawberries or like cutting paper all day, like, and it would be okay for me.
Mm-hmm.
So at my org now, as I was like applying for, or no, I didn't apply for places, as I was interviewing at places, that was one of my questions for the people interviewing me. Like, how aligned is your leadership? What does your leadership team look like? Do you feel like you have a connection with them? And it was interesting that like I explained like why that was important to me. And this one girl that I was interviewing with, we were having this great conversation. The company sounded great. And then at the end she was like, yeah, but like if I was gonna say anything, like I just don't trust like our leadership at all. Like I just like everything else is great. The pay is great. The people I work with are great. But just like leadership, just like they just didn't handle this thing really well last year. And I was like, does she know? Because she's like trying to get me to work for them. Does she know that like her saying that was like, okay,
Right.
deal breaker?
That's like number one in an interview that you don't do is talk bad about your old company. Why would you do that as a current employer about your current?
Yeah. So that was bad. But then the
Okay.
organization that I'm working at now I mean, they couldn't get more aligned because they're married, my CEO and my COO.
Yeah.
But and my CTO, they're all friends from college. So like that's just a really great alignment. They're all aligned very close. And you can feel that throughout the entire organization.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I like this because it is twofold. One other thing that our society has ingrained in our brains is asking questions at the end of interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I never have the right questions that I want to ask whenever I'm in an interview, other than, you know, I'll come up with something. Like whenever I'm doing my prep for the interview, and depending upon what it is, whatever the topic is, I'll find a way to like manipulate one of the things that we'll talk about into a question, just to make sure that I ask that the interviewer a question.
Yep.
But this is great because not only are you getting information and feedback about the company that's a prospective employer to know if they're truly aligned, but it gives you a question right off the bat going into the interview to ask them, and it gives them an idea of who you are,
Yeah.
and that you're aligned and you know what you're looking for in particular. So it doesn't make you look like a generic candidate that just found an opening.
It's like a very thoughtful question.
Exactly.
Pro tip: if you're going through interviews, ask what is your leadership structure like? How aligned is your leadership?
Exactly. It's a great question to ask.
Yeah,
I like it.
Thanks.
I have never thought to ask that in my like workplace, but then again, we're crossing all kinds of new lines in my goddess journey. I'm learning how to like be open and authentic in places I never thought we would.
Yes. Oh, it's working. We're doing it. I'm so proud of us.
Learning how to walk the talk.
Yes.
So many of us have been taught that like being professional means like to be buttoned up. It means to be detached and to be so serious and perfect about having it together. But like as a goddess, leadership's not about perfection. It's about presence.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing.
Yes. Yes. Empathy is a leadership superpower. So like when I find someone that is in a leadership position and they require this like strict professionalism, and I was like thinking through that the other day, like why did we have to do that? Like why did we create this like professionalism that has like a dress code, a words that you have to say, even if the words that you're using aren't offensive, you're just supposed to say certain things, and like you're not allowed to let them into your personal life. And I look at these people that they have nailed professionalism, and I just wonder, what are you like in your outside life? And then they're completely different. And then I'm like, wait, how are you supposed to show up authentically at work? Now, I'm not saying like bring your craziest self to your job, but like there's so much of our outside lives beyond our work that is so life-giving and fulfilling and could add so much to our space if we were able to show up authentically at work.
You know, I agree. And I've had this thought, but I think when I play devil's advocate in my mind, I would imagine that business professional comes into play for very serious professions. Like being a lawyer, you want the judge to take you seriously. Being a doctor, you want the patients to take you seriously. True. I can see that becoming, you know, where that started. But I think that just as a fatal flaw of humanity, groupthink sets in and people get lazy as a whole. just like that, like ever since the Industrial Revolution, we've processed things. We've put things into boxes and into processes.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes all the way to our HR point of wearing what you wear to the office. And so now it's like, well, we want you to dress professional, but dressing business professional means having a collar, having a tie, having a belt, wearing button down pant or khaki pants or whatever it is. And so like that took away all of our personality, all
Mm-hmm.
of the uniqueness that makes us a person that's showing up to do these jobs. While we were working on taking what we require and putting it into a process and putting people into check boxes, we took away their personality along the way. And I think
Yeah.
that's what we're seeing in us being, having our going goddess journey and talking about being our authentic self in the office.
Yeah.
We don't, that doesn't mean we show up in, wild outfits. That means that
No.
whenever you need to show up in a business professional outfit, you can wear a pink blazer. Pink
Yeah.
isn't unprofessional, it's a color.
Exactly right. Yes. I so agree with that. I love it because yeah, I do. We do like challenging the things. It's like, sure, sure, yeah, I'll wear biz cash, and cheetah print is a neutral. So,
Exactly. That is found in the wild.
yes, exactly. This is very natural, and then also like thinking about. So we've created this space of like blue, black, brown, like no patterns, like and also using certain words, and I think that does, like you say, creates a level of trust or like stability in that person.
Right.
That like, okay, all right, they've got this all together. I can put them in a box, and now I can just trust that they're gonna do the thing that's in the box. But then we've gone so far that like you said, removed the humanity from like the corporate world and the ability to connect with people. And so like where empathy has been totally like wiped out, like people don't want to hear about what happened to you over the weekend. What They just care if you got your project in at the deadline. And it's
Exactly.
like, bro, I just went through all of this crazy life stuff, family trauma, like whatever that affects, but I'm still here showing up, and I need to know that I can share that and you'll hold space and not shame me for it.
Yeah,
And so that's where we need to bring empathy back into the corporate space, I think.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's like we went too far, but it's course correcting. People are I think people are noticing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it in my workspace.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel multiple departments. People will start to kind of have side conversations. I think also, I mean, personal opinion, but I think that the virtual workplace, COVID shutting things down, I think that that also really spearheaded a lot of like division and talking, like, normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
no more water
all,
cooler.
all of those silos happened. And
Mm-hmm.
now we're starting to see like how much of that was happening
Mm-hmm.
after COVID. Now we're all trying to like reintegrate. Like,
Yeah.
oh, actually, we can be vulnerable in the workplace. This
Yeah.
is something we want. We don't want to go back to the 2010s where nobody wants to talk to each other because we're scared. Or,
Yeah.
or maybe not 2010s for whoever. Everybody's different, but
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I love thinking about that. And then, even thinking more about this empathy thing and leadership and connecting with people and how it's not just something good for us. It is so like we need it. It is a vital need, especially after COVID and us being so separated for so long. And like, yeah. And then having
yeah.
to relearn how to connect with people. Um, Another like face of the coin of empathy and leadership. I think as leaders, we often might hear something and want to go straight to the solution. Like,
Mm.
oh, you're here, I'm here, you're telling me about a problem. I'm the leader, so I should have the solution. And like they're not there to connect, they're there to fix so that the person can get back to their job, or maybe they because they want the person to feel better. But like the true magic of leadership is getting on that person's level, like meeting them there, hearing them, yeah,
Yes.
and then giving them space to work through it, or just letting them know like, I hear you, I don't need you to fix yourself right now just because we have a deadline coming up. Like, let's figure out how we can work on this together and still meet that goal, or not, because you're going to be a better person if you're going through something, to take the time that you need. And like, so leaders, have empathy for the people that you're leading,
Yeah.
and like they will be better employees, followers, like community, if they feel like they're safe.
Absolutely. And I like what you're saying about um, it goes full circle. The leader needs to not jump straight to fixing the problem. Trying to fix the problem right off the bat is not hearing what
Yeah.
the person's problem is to begin with. It's
Yeah.
not being empathetic. It might be sympathetic,
Yeah.
but it's not empathetic because it's not listening. It's not being curious about their problem, and
Yeah.
it's not being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is not weakness.
Oh,
Vulnerability is strength, if anything.
yes.
I mean, you're listening to somebody's most sensitive parts and talking to them from a sensitive state of yourself. And it can be really hard to open up to like what somebody else is going through at a deeper level, you know?
Yeah.
It's not fixing, it's listening without armor. And putting down your
Mhm.
armor is the hardest thing I think I've ever done personally.
Yo.
It's being with someone in their experience without needing to rescue them, without
Mhm.
needing to save them, and just listening. Just putting the armor down.
Yeah. And like I can think back to times that I've had a leader that did that for me and was like, let me hear you. Oh my gosh, that's so much to go through. I'm so sorry that you're going through it. And I was like waiting for them to be like, okay, well, I'll extend your deadline or okay, I'll, whatever. And they were just like, I'm here for you. Take the time you need. We'll hold it down until you're back. And that just meant like, it meant so much to me. It made me feel like I was part of a community. And then when I was able to come back to work, I wanted to like go so hard because I'm like, oh, okay, I love them. Like they love me. They care about me as a human. Um,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
Not like it's not having that connection is just so sterile. I think it makes for a
Yes.
sterile environment as opposed to
Yeah.
a fulfilling environment.
Yeah. Because imagine if you didn't have that kind of leader, you were going through something, and then you're just like trapped. Like, I need a paycheck. I'm afraid to say anything, or I don't feel like I have the space to say anything. Or if I say something, they're not going to care, or they might think I'm weak. So now, like, you're just going to this place dealing with all these emotions or not dealing with them, just sitting there in the shit, not able to get your work done, not able to talk to anyone about it.
Mm,
Yeah, that's
mm,
a really tough place to be. Oh, yeah. Something I wanted to say about the vulnerability and like as a leader, saying to someone, I hear you. I don't actually have the answers for you right now. And I'm your leader. Let's figure this out together. Like it's taking ownership over, you might not have the answers, but because you signed up as a leader, that's your role. You've signed up to help them find those answers or
mm-hmm,
guide them to those. It's
mm-hmm.
not a don't worry about it, I'll figure it out and let you know, or I don't know, figure it out, or I don't know, I'm going to make something up off the spot. It's like really leaning in together,
Mm.
rumbling, brainstorming, figuring it out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's where the courage comes in too.
Yes.
I find a lot of the time that I'm running from something, I don't want to answer the question or I want to send somebody to somebody else. It's
Hmm.
because I'm scared that I'm going to have to do a lot of work to find that answer, as
Yeah.
opposed to wanting to help the person more. So then when that happens, it's a good moment it's a good opportunity to stop yourself and say, why am I directing them to somebody else? Can I find that answer for them real quick?
Yeah.
Taking
Totally.
ownership.
Taking ownership because that's part of it. It's not like everyone else does the work for me. In fact, as a leader, I think that you're meant to do more work than everyone else. It's like your work as a leader and helping the people that you're leading, giving them feedback, guiding them, ensuring that we're all on the right track on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. Something else I'm thinking about as we talk about empathy and vulnerability and how like professionalism and society has told us that leaders look one way, and we're saying actually we think they might look completely different from that. And some people are going to say we're too emotional,
Absolutely.
and I don't think it's too emotional to lead, but I wonder, like how do we overcome that, like other than just waiting for the paradigm to shift and everyone to like understand that like vulnerability is strength, too emotional to lead is actually magic, that's your superpower, that's your ability to like see things from multiple perspectives, identify with them, and then come up with a solution together. We don't need colder leaders, especially also with AI and all of this tech. Like AI is running already so much of our life, whether we know it or
Right.
not.
Yeah.
And someone's going to come to us at some point and be like, this AI leader is a better leader than your leader. These are all the reasons why. And that will never convince me to remove the human. I think AI absolutely helps humans, but you'll never convince me to remove the human because they don't. AI will never have that human connection piece, that like energetic piece that, yeah, I just,
I
I
agree.
think you can get attached to an AI, but I don't think you can connect with it because there's nothing for it to connect back with you.
Right. There's no actual connection in between. The connect has to connect both ways.
Yeah.
Right. To
But
that
like we can
connection.
get attached to what
We can get
it's feeding
attached to
back.
it.
Like
Yeah.
people are marrying their AIs.
I agree, but I think that emotion is critical in the workplace. So I think that we should reshape how we approach the idea of emotion in the workplace because emotion is so stigmatized as being erratic or being something
Yeah.
that somebody can't control
Yeah.
or something that's founded outside of logic.
Right.
In reality, though, emotions stem from what? Intuition?
Yeah.
Feelings that you have that of something being wrong, knowing that something's wrong, but not quite understanding what it
Yeah.
is or how to find
Messages
it.
coming in.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so to attach every emotion to being unstable or erratic, I think is a fatal flaw in the workplace.
Yes. And in life.
And in life.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I would encourage any of our listeners that get called emotional to call it out.
Yes.
This has happened to me. I believe I talked about it on the podcast or in the group a couple months ago, but I had
Tell us.
I had a sales counterpart at work that, well, we had a situation that there was like a bit of a falling out with an order. And whenever I was out of office, my sales counterpart had reached out to the customer without, talking to me, obviously, because I was out of the office, but he kind of made some moves without ever consulting me or waiting for me to come back. And it sabotaged a deal that I had on the table. So whenever I returned, I sent an email to our managers. I sent an IM and I told him, like, this is unacceptable. You can't be doing this, whatever. I explained the whole story. And then he told me that I was being emotional and told me that I just needed to calm down. And I called my manager back and I told him that, like, what he just said. And I was like, and I also told him at that time, after I got off of that call, because at that point he did rile me up and my emotions were starting to escalate to the point of escaping me. And I was like, I need to stop. So I got off the call. I was like, whatever, I'm done here. Called my manager, explained what happened. And then after I got done talking with him, and he really calmed me down back to daring leadership. I have a great manager who listened to me, understood. He offered to call his manager to get everybody on the same page. But in the process, after I got done with all of that, I messaged my sales counterpart and I asked him, would you call my other colleague? So would you call my other colleague emotional if he were the one saying that to you? And he said, you're right. I didn't mean to say that. I was the one being emotional.
Nice.
Yeah.
Call him out.
Yeah.
Call him out. And you didn't call him out like, and you're a piece of shit for doing that, you misogynistic. It was like, hey, would you have done this for someone else? Like, can you provide some clarity on why?
If this was reversed, would you have done the same situation?
Yes. Goddesses, we know life isn't always sunshine, crystals, and goddess energy. Sometimes it gets hard. And one of the bravest, most goddess like things you can do is reach out for support.
Exactly. And that's why we're grateful that today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp, the world's largest therapy platform. With BetterHelp, you can connect with a licensed therapist online from the comfort of your own home. Forget waiting in the waiting rooms, and definitely no driving across town.
BetterHelp makes it easy. You just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a therapist who fits your needs. And if it doesn't feel like the right vibe, you can switch therapists at any time. No extra charge.
As goddesses, we talk a lot about empowerment, self love, and healing because therapy has been such a powerful tool on our own journeys. BetterHelp makes it accessible to anyone.
So if you've been thinking about starting therapy or you just need a little extra support on your goddess journey, give BetterHelp a try. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/GBO. That's betterhelp.com/GBO.
BetterHelp.com/GBO. Goddess vibes only.
All right, so let's get into just like some questions. Silver Luna, what does leadership mean to you right now in this season of your life?
leadership to me right now in this season of my life means taking ownership and doing the hard thing.
Mm.
I am making it a point to do the thing that I put off. If I can feel some kind of hesitation or resistance to doing a thing,
Good for you.
just doing it. It's so much easier to just stop asking questions and denying it and saying I'll do it later. Just do the thing and get it over with.
As Sally from Savage Soul Media says, I've heard this before, but
Yeah.
I love it. Eat the frog.
Yes, eat the
First
frog.
things first, just eat the frog, get it over with. Eat the biggest frog first, work your way down.
Yeah.
It's so worth it, which is also why I like to work out first thing in the morning. Because then I'm like, oof, we're done. I also like to work out before my brain wakes up and realizes what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like I'm midway
Yeah.
through a like split squat and I'm like, what? How am I here? Did I choose this? Keep going.
When did I get dressed?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's fun. What does it mean for you right now? What does leadership mean in this season of your life?
I think so with my human design, just like all over my chart is like leadership in this space and leadership here, and you're a leader and lead and lead. And I have always felt like I'm a leader, even when I'm not necessarily in a like given leadership role. And so I've really been thinking about that as I'm like integrating this best self version of me. And for it's owning leader as an identity for me.
Yeah, that's a big one in accepting it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
being like, okay. And like, I feel this to be true. I know it to be true. And so I'm going to create spaces where like my leadership can shine and like the right people will be there. And that might just be me talking to a wall, which is okay because that's what I was called to do. But like, so now I'm looking at everything in leadership and it's how I get up in the morning and like what is my routine to like protect my energy and to take care of it because I'm gonna probably share something on my heart. And if I am doing that, I need to know that I'm in a clear, good, healthy space. So it's like for me, it's really about taking ownership of the leadership role that I have in my life and then also taking accountability for how that affects others.
Yeah, I love that. So something that I really want to touch on that you mentioned was that when you lead and you want to take ownership of your life and that's how you're a leader. To lead with your heart requires you to lead with vulnerability, right?
Yes.
So can you give me an example of how you're able to lead and what it takes, what kind of vulnerability it takes to do that?
Yeah. I think in a silly place is TikTok because I want to use it to I use it authentically and I use it to share messages that come to me and to just whatever random like creative thing comes to my heart. So, but I do that in a way posting stuff that's like, oh, someone's going to see that maybe as a little cringe or unhinged. But for me, that video of like saying this poem out loud that was like really sad and tragic because I had just lost my dog and still posting it even with like my voice cracking and it's like this isn't like a happy fun thing, but for me it was very cathartic to be like I'm freaking sad and I'm putting it out there in the world because there are other sad people out there that might just need to like let other people know that they're sad but they didn't know that they had a safe space to do it. So maybe if I can show up as authentically and vulnerably as I can, maybe that will, and like super unhinged, maybe that will help someone feel a little braver to be a little less unhinged and still show
Yeah.
up. So like that's one, but then also with going goddess podcast, like going live in the mornings is like so vulnerable and just sharing what's on my heart, like whatever the fuck comes out of my mouth and
It's true.
just trusting that it's going to land hopefully.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's true. Those are really good examples. You do, that is who you are, which is
Mhm.
why I was wondering if you could give an example because it's most of the ways that you lead. But
Thank
it's
you.
inspiring because just being you makes you a leader.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I really
course.
appreciate that. That's the beauty of authenticity, I think, and like being around authentic people, like who you are creates space for me to be who I am and to show up
Yes.
as big and as bright and colorful like as I could. And I know that with you, I'm also gonna wear whatever I want to wear. I do that for the most part anyway. But being around people that are so authentically them makes you want to be so authentically you.
I could not agree more. It's contagious.
Yeah.
Yeah, authenticity is contagious.
Yes.
You know?
So a time when vulnerability made you a stronger leader.
I'm trying to think of a time outside of the workplace, and I think Going Goddess really is a great example of that, because the podcast has made me have to step outside of my boundaries with people that I don't know. I have never felt more vulnerable than trying to introduce myself to new people in a new city and a new podcast to new people in the new city, and trying to ask them if they would be interested in being on said podcast. And to know that there is something that I am working on and want to be proud of, and I could be judged for right off the bat before anybody knows me, and I'm still trying to build a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
I think that that's the most vulnerable state that I've been in a long time. And it can be kind of painful too, whenever, like, I have asked a couple of people to be on the podcast, and they've been very lovely, and yes, they're interested, but then sometimes if they're not, there's no follow through, then it doesn't necessarily feel like they want to. And then I start to feel bad, but that's not really the right, like, not necessarily a bad thing. It's just vulnerability, learning that, like, it's okay. Like, this is a very, this is like a love baby for us.
Yeah.
It's something that's so near and dear to our heart that it's an emotional attachment, and it takes a lot of courage. So I haven't actually asked very many people because I'm so nervous and scared of being rejected.
Oh my gosh. And you're not alone in that. Like, that's what keeps us from being vulnerable. And then that makes me think about, so we're afraid of being vulnerable because we don't want to be rejected. And everyone is dealing with vulnerability, either being vulnerable or experiencing someone else's, or like actively not being vulnerable because we're afraid of what someone else is going to think. And we forget that that person, as we're being vulnerable, is taking in what our vulnerability through their vulnerable lens and whatever they're going through. And so then for this, being on this podcast is a fantastic opportunity. You get a free video of yourself. You get to share what's on your heart. And, for those who it doesn't totally resonate with, or they don't see the value in it, it's like, okay, then actually thank you for maybe not getting back to me, which don't love that. But we don't want people on here that don't see the value in this and like don't understand the mission, because the mission is, women's empowerment. And I want people that are excited, you know what I mean, to be on it.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah, but that's why I have been trying to be more courageous and understanding. And that's why I say this podcast has really helped in learning how to like level up the leadership ranks and leveling up the courage instead of shying away and saying, oh, we'll figure it out. We'll find somebody else to podcast. Like, and I mean, even just talking about it is kind of, you can tell whenever I'm feeling vulnerable because I talk a lot.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Well, that's great. Great. Let's more vulnerability from you, please. Silver Luna was so chatty last night, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm like really chatty. And I'm like, I love it. Keep going. Because surprise, I talk a lot. Yeah. And I want to give you a shout out. I just had it at the top. Oh yes, a definite shout out for showing up in leadership and vulnerability with the Dare to Lead, the morning lives. Like, reading a book in front of anyone is hard and scary. But B, like, reading something that is so impactful and so much for people to unpack is a vulnerable thing to do, and just showing up and then sharing your heart about it. So I really commend you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
It is nerve-wracking, especially in an airport with a bunch of people.
Yeah, like, what? So cool. And people are just looking at you like, oh, she's such an influencer. Like, she probably has like 5 million followers soon.
Well, the fun fact is they don't know how many people are watching. It could be 0 and it could be 200,000. But I will say that was another moment, just like we talked about at the very beginning of this episode, shaky voice. I have shaky voice syndrome. Whenever I get really anxious, the nerves come out, or I feel really vulnerable, like there's a lot of people watching. Just beginning of that live, I was so shaky. There was a point where I could feel like all the eyes on me at the airport. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going.
Oh,
Don't pay attention.
I'm like, okay, first of all, everyone's always looking at you. You set yourself up for this, and you're so beautiful. So good thing. Look at you feeling the fear and doing it all day, every day, not even knowing
It's
it.
true. When you jump in feet first, it becomes easier.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what I keep saying.
Totally. Another place I think like leaders can be vulnerable is when we are given a charge for something like women's empowerment and we're sharing about it, and I'm always going to have your back on sharing about it. And that is really important because sometimes you're leaders of groups that the people in your group get what you're talking about. They get the mission. They want to spread the good word, and the outside world still doesn't get it. And so you're that person of like, hey, I've got your back. Like, I believe in this so hard. We're going to push this mission like all the way through, even if people don't get it. They may never get it, but we get it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, holding that space when everyone around you was like, what the hell?
Yeah. All I can hope is that maybe some of the others at the airport could hear the messages that were being talked about. Shame.
Yes. Yes.
You know, everybody deals with shame.
Yes.
But you're right. Being in the women's empowerment space can also feel a bit terrifying, especially as an attack on DEI.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're wanting to empower voices that have been historically held down. It's barely been over 100 years that women have had the right to vote.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. Yeah.
That's wild
that's
to me.
So crazy.
So it is really, truly courageous to try to bolster women's voices and to give them an extra bit of volume.
Yeah.
In a world, especially a world that's so loud with just junk and noise right now.
Totally. And also, can we talk about like being in the women's empowerment space and being new and like being like, okay, I know that I'm saying something that hundreds and thousands of women have said before and probably in better, more articulate ways. And I'm just trusting that I've been given this mission with you to share our truth and share what's on our heart. And like, all the while knowing that I could point every single person here to so many like gurus and women that I look up to and I admire so much who've been doing this for years and years and years. And yet we still choose to be vulnerable and courageous and show up in this space.
Yes.
And hope that it reaches someone that maybe hasn't heard all the other gurus before.
Right? But back to imposter syndrome. We are good enough. We are good enough.
You're right.
The only way to become a guru is to keep practicing and to keep learning and to talk to all of the amazing goddesses that have been on the podcast and that will be on the future episodes.
Yeah.
It's only going to continue to get better.
You're so right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone just woke up and like, they're like, I'm a guru now.
No, not at all.
It was extreme dedication and practice and like faith. And
hold on. Let's take a step back. Let's think back to our bead dealer. Our bead dealer started with plastic beads.
Yeah, I love you.
Our bead dealer moved up to glass beads. Our bead dealer moved up to crystal beads. And now our bead dealer has moved up to Swarovski beads.
Yeah.
Look at this wrist. For all of the listeners that can't see her wrist, you should just go take a look at some of her pictures on her profile. They're gorgeous, and her bracelets just keep getting better. You didn't start off as a guru bracelet maker.
Oh, you're so sweet. I'm not there yet. But I have upgraded and up-leveled, and I will say, guys, I did manifest something. I wrote down that I was going to one day make bracelets with Swarovski crystals, and I just got them delivered yesterday. Yes. And like, yeah, anyways, whatever. Doesn't matter how I found them or what it was. They're on Etsy, but yeah, it was something that I thought was unattainable. I hadn't done any research, but
you wouldn't have ever thought of yourself as, getting to that point without having just started.
You're right. You're totally right. And I would have I didn't grow up like making bracelets or jewelry or really doing anything like creative or artistic. And so starting that with my girls and seeing them love it, but then like finding this love for myself. Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of, I was like being vulnerable there. And then also like wanting to give them out and then like super vulnerable, like asking stores if they wanted to carry them.
Oh my gosh, asking stores to carry your personal handmade art is one of the most vulnerable things you can do.
Yes.
As an artist, absolutely. And especially somebody who is stepping into acknowledging that side of herself.
Yeah.
Right? You're still learning to accept that in the mirror that you are an artist
Yeah.
now.
I know. I'm just laughed because I'm like,
exactly. You still have to accept it.
Yeah, you're right. I do.
But it's true. It's just another like aspect of your
Right.
life. So it is really vulnerable to think like I made these things. They look beautiful, but does everybody else think that? Will they want them?
Yeah, you're right.
It's another way you stepped into leadership with vulnerability.
Thank you. That leads me to the next question because I was thinking about when we, like, if I go to a store and like I want to like put the bracelets like on the counter and be like, I don't give a shit if you like them or not, but like you could carry them if you wanted them. And that's like all this armor. Like I had like showing up like the armor of like apathy or I actually don't care about you or like I'm too cool, but like whatever.
Yeah.
So like definitely that's an area where I've, felt pressured to armor up as a leader. So what about you? And like what helped you stay authentic in those moments?
Trying to avoid armoring up. I think that I do that a lot whenever people try on my macrame, whenever I'm vending. And it's hard because you want to encourage them to wear the thing. And then whenever they put it on and they hate it, or they say, oh, I don't think that this is for me. Then, and actually, even less whenever they try it on, whenever they look at it and say, that won't look good on me. That's when I armor up the most. Because it tells me that they're looking at my thing and judging it because they think it's too skimpy. They think it's not the right size. It's too small. It's too scandalous. It's too whatever it is. Or if it's like a fun thing, it could just be that they like, it's a joke because it's like a guy walking by and they see like my macrame clothes, like fine. Yeah. But typically it's a comment that feels kind of like one-sided or like rude, and so that does make me armor up and think like you're judging me as a person because this is my art. This is an extension of who I am.
Yes, I created this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And even if the art isn't good to you, you don't have to say anything, So those are the moments that I try to embrace, like kill them with kindness, like remind them, build their confidence. Like, girl, you look great in that. You should try it on. Really, it's not as small as you think.
Yeah, like have you thought about styling it like this? Yeah, so it's not.
Let me show you how you can look good.
Boom, love that.
Yeah,
I love that. That's like taking leadership and authentically you because you're an artist. You create things. You like know how to place things on your body and other people to make them feel confident and amazing. I love that.
Exactly. I can show them exactly how it should be styled best, or at least how I have it in my mind, and then they can take that and expand upon it. Yeah. And then it breaks down the armor. Totally. In time, I have definitely lightened up whenever people make those comments now, and it's more of like, you look great, but okay. But it definitely started out as like kind of like I'd get bristly. Yeah, like
what do you mean I don't like it? Oh, you have bad taste. Yeah, probably would look awful on you.
Exactly. Like, you're probably right.
Like, oh, I don't mean that. What if you said something like, oh, can I show you what like I envision this to look like? Ooh. Or like, can I show you my full vision for this? Like, would you try it on? And then you're like placing it like over the clip or whatever.
I love that idea. Thanks. Can I show you how I'm imagining it?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're like on the thing, it's not done. That isn't the vision. I'm an artist. I need you to like put it on your body. And even if you don't buy it, at least you got to wear some art for a little bit.
Exactly. And maybe it'll spark some interest in another outfit or another creative venture they might have.
Yeah, totally.
That's the goal.
I love that. Collaboration.
Yeah.
So good.
It's not always about money. I feel like there's such a I feel like whenever it comes to vending, a lot of people don't want to stop and talk to the artist because they think that they just want them to buy their art.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case. We want you to connect with the art. If you don't connect with the art and you buy it out of pity, then it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
The connection's lost.
Right. Yeah. Because the best part, I had to like start selling my bracelets because I was like, maybe I should get some money back for this. But I love just like having a bag of them, like go through them. And someone has like put like 5 on their wrist and they're like, these all look like candy. I want to eat them and I want to wear it. I'm like, yeah, I love that you connect. Or like if it says a certain word and just like those moments where they're connecting with it, that more than anything is why I do it. It's so good.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's so awesome. So, what role does empathy play in how you connect and manage and mentor others?
It's front seat. It pretty much drives the car, because I don't really know how to connect with people without like empathy and just like hearing what they're saying, and yeah, wanting to just understand the world like from their shoes.
Yeah.
And definitely in mentoring, because I've never had a mentor that I didn't admire and like want to emulate like them or like parts of their life. And it's because like they were able to connect with me and show me the like the places in me that I could grow and be like that. People that have wanted to be mentors in my life that were in leadership roles and they really wanted to mentor me, but they weren't willing to like get to know me. They just saw that I could take over what they were doing one day and told me how to do it and all of the things that I needed to do. And it's like, I just feel kind of like gross now. Like you say that you see all of these things in me, but you don't actually even know me at all. And so if someone is like, "Hey, can you like mentor me on this or like can I talk to you about it?" I'm like, "Oh, okay, let's get on the same page." Yeah, first. Yeah.
Yeah. To mentor means to like really understand that person and to teach them, yeah, at like a fundamental connected level.
Mhm.
Not just, that would be a training, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a training whenever you're not like actually connected to the mentor?
Yeah. Yeah, cuz I think mentorship like there's a piece of it where training is like this is how you do the thing, mentoring is this is how you do the thing and how you can integrate it into your life and like how you can shift, and you can't integrate something into your life without like the connection to it.
So that mentor is really just a false hope.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Like are they a mentor if they're just like this is how you make the sandwich,
Exactly.
or is it the mentor that's like this is how you make the sandwich deliciously nutritiously like for your family, or like this is a certain bread you use, if you don't have it you could do that, like
Right.
all of the things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, I see that in you. I see you being an empathetic leader. And I think that that's kind of somewhere that we like. I'm empathetic, but I think that that's where I'm different. And this is what I talk about a lot, that I have to stop and put the human back in the human sometimes, because I too tend to go too fast for my own good, and I sometimes jump to the fix, or I jump straight to the why or the how and not to the are you okay? And I forget that in the process of doing things, I have to slow down. And it might be just human nature, but it is a mindfulness practice that I've had to, overcome, because otherwise I'll just plow right through the very sensitive news on accident and ask them if they got their thing done. And it's not on purpose.
Like, oh shit, so did you finish that paper?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh.
But because I am that way, I do feel like I give a lot of grace to those that are that way too.
Yeah.
Like for example, my manager he called me the other day, and he had there's like a really difficult situation that came up, and he had to talk to me about it. And he answers the phone and he's like asking me about like, did you book it this way? Did you do that? Did you do that? And I'm like, no, 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 no. Crap. Like this sucks. And then at the very end, he's about to hang up, and then he like stopped me. He was like, hey, wait, did you have a good weekend? What did you do?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. And then we kind of had like a moment to reconnect again.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I felt like I was watching myself, because I do that so frequently that I accidentally just railroad over whatever we were talking about to go to the action item. And then I realized later, like, oh my gosh, I didn't even stop to say anything.
Yeah. Oh, good. Great self-awareness on that. That's so awesome. And what a great fix for it. Like, oh, like just because you didn't say it at the beginning doesn't mean you can't say it at the end.
Exactly.
And then you left feeling like, okay, they care about me. I messed that up and they care about me still.
Yeah. And it changed the entire trajectory of that night, because I was really freaked out after we had that conversation. I was like, man, I really messed some things up on that order. And I was very frustrated, and I was about to log off frustrated, and then he changed the tone. So it was really cool.
It's so powerful.
And
just that one question. Yeah.
Exactly.
Man.
It's also a matter of taking a step back and looking at it from like the high level and understanding when you're asking or when you're jumping straight from the problem to the fix. I
Mm-hmm.
think that like that comment that you made earlier about that, that's such an imperative moment to be able to recognize at a high level of your behavior. It is a huge self-awareness, but learning that will make you a significantly better leader. Right?
Mm.
Because if you're taking a moment, just like the holistic approach to your own success, if you take a step back, it's kind of like treating a symptom as opposed to the cause. You know, you want to take a moment to see, like, where am I at in this process? Am I being vulnerable with them, or am I being manipulative? I just had this conversation with Cherry the other day
Yeah.
that I at work was trying to write out an email, and in the process of writing the email, at the end and trying to like be nice and also get my point across, but not point fingers, but also say you did the wrong thing. In the end, all of the word salad made it sound manipulative, and it made it sound like I was gaslighting them on accident. And I was like, hold on, let's back up. Let me take all of that out. It
Sorry.
was intending to be, I hear you, and I'm sorry, or not I'm sorry, but I hear you that you think that it was done this way, but it wasn't, and it's done wrong, and it needs to be corrected like this, and this is the second time you've done it. And instead it ended up sounding like, I'm sorry you did that.
I'm
So
sorry that you're ruining
yeah,
my day. This sucks
yeah.
for us. Yeah.
So it's really important to be aware and to have that ability to kind of take a step back and like look at how you're behaving, and is this being vulnerable? Is this being empathetic? Or is it being sympathetic? Is
Yeah.
it being manipulative? Is it still led with the right intent? And are you communicating and portraying that in the right intent? And that's what makes you a leader.
Yeah. That brought me to a couple of thoughts. One being when your employee comes to you with something that's gone on externally and that it's affecting their work and like at work. Um, we're called to be like solution focused, so, or solution oriented. I think that is a strength, growth oriented and solution oriented, and curious about our people and figuring out what is it that you need and what is your goal. Like
Mm-hmm.
we know what my goal as a leader is to get this thing done quickly, low cost, and for the best, in the best way possible. But in this moment, I'm hearing that you're not able to get your work done and you're going through something really hard. Is your goal right now to finish your task? How can we work together to make that a reality? Or is your goal right now just being okay in life? Then
Yes.
I can give you some time off for that, or direct you to some services. And that question about what is your goal is an example of a question of getting curious about that person's world, which is
Mm.
the other thing I wanted to talk about on that is like when someone says something to us, a way that we can start practicing empathy is not asking solution focused questions, but asking curiosity focused questions. What is your goal in this scenario? How would it make you feel if this? Do you have, like, what is your best case scenario? What are your concerns if it doesn't happen? Like, going that one step further is what shows that person, oh, you care about me and my world, not just am she going to get that shit done.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, a lot of times, like I've definitely gone to bosses in the past, or even just people in the past, even my husband, and I'm like, I'm dealing with this. I know that we wanted to get this thing done, and I'm upset, and he can feel that I'm upset, and then he's like, okay, well, maybe if we just did it this way, we could get to this. When what needed to happen for me to like, for us to have a connection and get on the same page was him to get a little bit more curious about my world. And okay, I hear what you're saying. Can you give me a little bit more?
Yes.
That breaks
Mm.
down barriers of, oh, you just want to get something done here.
Yes. Oh, I love this. And how many times have you made assumptions? How many times have assumptions
Oh,
been made on the behalf of other because we weren't curious enough? We
yeah.
wanted to get straight to the source. We wanted to resolve the problem as quickly as possible. But
Mm,
I can think of, I mean, like numerous times off the top of my head in the workplace, at home, and social settings where asking more questions is ultimately what made the relationship stronger. Had I just gone and done whatever they had asked, if somebody asked me, hey, will you go do this? And I say, yes, let me go do that. Even though in reality I should have asked, why do you want me to go do that? that seems like a red flag that you're asking for that. And then that would have led to further clarification from the other person. And now, once we've had that conversation and talked about it, that communication has made our bond stronger.
Yeah, totally.
Now you've connected.
Yes. Although it's vulnerable to ask questions,
It is.
and it's a sign of strength.
It is.
And like we're not sheeple. We don't just do things because we're told to do them
Mm-mm.
in work, in life. And so yeah, get curious about yourself even. Ask yourself that next question when you're doing something that feels a little like what's my best case scenario here? And sometimes I'm like, wait, it has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. Like
Yeah.
but yeah, getting curious is a great step for empathy, vulnerability, and connection.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I want to take a step back on what you just said about like whenever you're not and you're like, "Er." So what's your relationship like with imperfection on your leadership journey?
But present
Fair. Same.
around us all the time.
Same.
We are besties, and I need to get like super clear on what failure is. Like to me, failure isn't messing up. Failure isn't not knowing the answers. If I don't know something, that's just me working to figure it out. Like that's the next thing. And so, yeah, imperfection in leaders is necessary to be honest about it because nobody's perfect. And if you're showing up as this perfect person, where are you creating space for anyone else to show up anything other than perfect?
Right.
And when we're like trying to be perfect, we're not able to think like as creatively and problem solving ways. We're not able to connect with others. We've got all of our armor up. So I actually seek out like imperfections or like
Yeah.
imperfect leaders. I don't, if someone says, "Oh, I've got it all together and I always have," I'm like, lies. And I don't, yeah, I'm interested actually to hear what you have to say because what if you do? And
I want to know what you have together.
yeah, quick 30 seconds in
Yeah,
that
right.
presence, you're kind of like, oh, no, you don't. But I see where you have fooled yourself into believing that you are perfect. And yeah, in an area.
Yeah, and I wanna reshape the idea of failure because this just came up last night talking to somebody and thinking, Cherry and I decompressed on a conversation we'd had with somebody later and thought about how in the end it felt like that person was less likely to want to be wrong. They wanted to not necessarily be right in the conversation the whole time. It's not always about like, yes, I know what you're talking about. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Not because they wanted to be right. They don't want to look stupid. They don't want to feel like they failed in a conversation with people that might know more about what they're talking about than they do.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't equate to failure, even though I personally am putting this message out there because I have always equated it to failure.
Mm.
It took me a long time to outgrow the always being right phase. I didn't start actually acknowledging and saying sorry for things until like my mid 20s, which is really bad. I mean, I know that for sure, which is why I say I'm on my goddess journey. But I mean, I'm now in my 30s, so I've apologized for things and now in my emails at work, I've even had to be told like, "Hey, stop apologizing for everything."
Yeah,
But
okay.
that is
Bring
a
it in.
sign of strength to me. Like now, whenever I
100%.
see anybody that says like, "I know I got this right," I'm like, "Will you please take that back and do a double check real quick?"
Yeah, good for you. Good for
Mhm.
you. Like, because I know that I would do
Yeah.
that and no, it's all right.
Yeah, and it's never a failure to be wrong or to mess up. Like imperfection is so natural, and to put a perfection requirement on something like that's a really hard. That's something that I think is an insecurity.
Oh, 100%. Because I mean, it's impossible. Like
Mm-hmm.
it always is impossible because something might be perfect to you, and then someone can come in and iterate on it and make it even more perfect. And
And you're like, oh, I
like
swear it was perfect.
it never freaking stops. So let's just stop attaining for that. Like let's
Yeah.
do like best self. This is my best self version, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, that's awesome. And then
Mm-hmm.
like with failure or imperfection, being able to say it like, oh, I failed on that one, or like I messed up. I didn't achieve what I was hoping to achieve here. I didn't achieve what I said I was going to. I did not meet that expectation. Like owning that and like you said, apologizing and taking accountability for it is such a sign of strength. It also is really important in leadership because there are leaders that will experience imperfection and failure and blame it on everyone else around them, or the people that look up to them are willing to take it on as, oh, our leader couldn't have been wrong because they've placed themselves on a pedestal and we've agreed to that pedestal for them, so any failure is actually us and we are lowly and that makes sense. And so
Mm.
like it can really like even widen that,
Mm.
like the distance, the disparity between a leader and a follower in that
Yeah.
one, in that sense. And then when leaders are able to be honest and vulnerable, you know, that just puts so much trust, that I'm going to be able to be honest and vulnerable. Plus, we know that like if we fail at something, if we continue to work on it, we're growing.
Yeah.
And I want leaders that continually grow and develop themselves as well. The
Agreed.
goddess and progress journey is never over.
Agreed. Absolutely. I want to dive into like the opposite though. Question on the opposite. If we were to go the other direction, what about whenever a leader feels too strongly about their way of doing things, even if it's imperfect?
Mm.
How do you handle talking to another leader that they're very confident, almost to a cocky extent? How do you handle a leader that's arrogant?
Arrogant leader. Yeah. 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 That's really good. It's a great question. And I have had those for sure. And sometimes for me, it was just like putting my head down and just like moving forward and hoping I wasn't going to like catch anything from them. But then realizing that that wasn't a healthy place for me to be in. It's also not my job to call out everything about them that doesn't have to do with me. But when something did come up that it did have to do with me and they like kind of embarrassed me for no reason on a call in front of a bunch of people, or yeah, in front of my sales team, I was like, wow, okay. Like she felt like she had every right to say that. And when in fact she didn't. So I like wrote her an email and was like, this is how you made me feel. This is what happened. This is how it made me feel. And this is how I'm hoping that we could remedy it and work together in the future. And so like problem, feeling, solution. And she like gave me some attitude back on it, and I felt really strong and like showing leadership of my own like in my life that no, I'm not okay with you talking to me like that. I am going to call something out. um, and knowing that, hey leader, I am going to call you out
Yeah. Yeah.
respectfully.
Good. Good for you. That's, I mean, if we don't, then they just continue to lead badly.
Yeah. Yes. And then what happens when the people that are being led see that their leader's bad and they all start talking to each other about how bad their leader is? That is the fastest way to tank any community, any organization,
Mm.
any team. When you got your people not happy with the leader, not willing to say something to the leader, or the leader isn't willing to hear you and adjust, that's
Mm.
messed up.
Yeah. Brene Brown just talked about this actually in her book. What is it called? Back channel communications.
Mm.
And they're talking about each other and after meetings, like in after meeting communications. Like instead of talking in the meeting during the rumble, they'll go have after conversations after the meeting, back channel meetings.
Yeah.
And it's very unhealthy. It's a fast track to deteriorating an organization and deteriorating relationships.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Like if me, you, and Sally had a conversation right now, and then we turn around and have a conversation together and say, blah, 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 I don't like any of that. That just deteriorated that entire
Yeah.
conversation.
Yes.
So, yeah, do unto others as you would want done unto you.
100%. Man, that's huge. Even like with your buddy, like you might have that one person. I think it is kind of healthy to have like that one person that you can say things to, as long as you have that agreement that you're going to call each other out when it's like going too far, or like,
Yeah.
hey, you're just turning into like just this is only shit talking. Like you
Right.
can't be doing that. And I hope that everyone can be cognizant about if you're doing that with your one buddy, they might have another buddy doing that who also has another buddy. And pretty soon everyone is still talking about it. So I guess like, yeah, being really intentional. Like,
Yeah.
my husband and I don't air our dirty laundry. We talk about the lessons we've learned and like how we deal with them, but I don't talk to any of my friends really. Um, Actually, except for you, you're a safe space for me because I really appreciate your perspective, and I know that you have our relationship you hold in the highest regard.
Right.
Um, but for other people, like acquaintances, I have friends that will just like bitch and bitch about their partners, and I'm like, what? Okay, why are you doing that? Because eventually you're gonna make up, and I'm not gonna have the time to make up with that partner. And so I just have like all the stuff that you've said about them that's like not okay, and you're just putting all this negative energy out in the world about your relationship. And this is with any relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you could just have that conversation with them about that particular situation that's bothering you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it in. Like even if you have a conflict with the leader, you don't have to go and tell everyone else about it. Like y'all work on it
You're both
together.
leaders.
Yeah.
Go lead. Go take the lead and talk to that person.
Yeah.
And if they're a leader, they're going to talk back.
Yes.
They're going to give you a reason why, or they're going to understand what you had to say and make adjustments accordingly.
Totally.
If they want to be a better leader.
True. Facts. If they want to. If they want to be a shitty leader, they won't do it. So
yeah, right. That's completely the ball's in their court at that point.
Yeah. How do you deal with imperfect leadership?
Like somebody that's like doing things confidently wrong.
Uh-huh.
I also have a conversation with them, and if the conversation with them doesn't work, then I guess it depends on the setting. Like for example, I just did this with the CCM a couple months ago. I went and had the conversation with her. It didn't work. Moved up to the next rank, which was her manager, and that ultimately also didn't work. But I did what I could, and I tried to make adjustments, and I still gave the feedback. So if it comes up in another scenario, it was never intended to be like dogging on somebody. I gave actual feedback as to how I would have worked better with that person, and we would have collaborated better. So even if they still don't like me, or I came off too strong for them, maybe in the future, whenever they're working with somebody different that has a similar learning style to me, they've been given that feedback by somebody else. Yes. They can make those adjustments for someone else.
Yes. Yes. I love that. What a great place to have your heart in that. You're like, okay, it might not be better for me, but hopefully this will be better for someone in the future because I was willing to speak up now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's huge. How do you navigate the tension between confidence and humility?
I don't know. What is the tension between confidence and humility?
Confidence versus arrogance, I think, is kind of.
Oh yeah, I do struggle with this sometimes, but I struggle with this in both ways. Not only do I struggle with how I see somebody being too confident and having too much humility, and also in myself. So I think that this is a thing that I project onto others, and I try to be mindful of, because I can sometimes feel like I'm being arrogant about a situation that I might not feel so confident in. Fake it till you make it kind of a situation. I can sometimes feel like I'm being a little too confident because I don't actually believe that I'm quite there yet, but I'm pushing down the imposter syndrome and I'm still doing it. And I know that that's a thing that I'm doing, but then sometimes I project that onto other people too. And I think that they're doing that. And I have to take a step back and be like, is this the conversation that I've had with this person? Are they actually being cocky right now? Or are they just being confident because they actually are good at this and they've had practice in this? Or are they being humble because they don't want to come off as being cocky, but really they should be taking more credit? And in those moments, I have, because I try to avoid projecting, I think I've gotten better at like analyzing when I'm having those moments of thoughts about people. And whenever I think it's one or the other, I start asking further questions like, are you being too humble? Well, you should be talking about yourself more. Why are you not talking about your art? Like, come on, give me something. Let me wear it. Let me promote it. Let's show it off.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
If they're being too confident, they'll be like, really? I don't think that that's right.
I love that. You're like not afraid to
Let's
like,
talk about
I'm going to actually cut you down a little bit, chop that down a little bit.
Yeah, where did that limiting belief come from?
Oh, there you go. And they're like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
What about you? How do you balance that tension?
I'm like, toot your horn. I don't care. Like, I love it when someone's like, not to toot my own horn. I'm like, toot it, blow it, go loud. Like, why not? Because
And then I'll go next.
Yeah, exactly. Because let's all talk about how awesome we are. Because we actually don't do that like that often. A lot of times it's like people that I see as arrogant are the ones that have no interest in connecting with other people. They have no interest in hearing what that person has to say. Like, oh, you just shared that amazing thing about you. Now you could give a couple of seconds for the person to respond to what you said and like see how it lands with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy we were talking to last night, he was very adamant about letting us know about like his all of his jobs and that he's not like hurting for money and that he got to do all these things. And it's like we were sharing something, we were like having a conversation, and then he just took it, made it completely about him, and there was just no opportunity for connection. That to
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm like, oh well, I have no interest in this conversation or you because you have
Mm-hmm.
no interest in me. So like, what are we doing here? Like, if
Mm-hmm.
you want a sounding board, like talk to your AI. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, so I'm like, I don't care. Like, go get a billboard with your face on it. Like, go crazy because someone else is being big doesn't mean that it's taking away from my ability to be big in a
Yeah.
space. And I know that I can be a lot for people and they might call me arrogant, and I love the shit out of myself, and that's fine. And like, because I know that I'm coming from a place of love and connection and light, and I'm not here to say I do this better than you do it a bad way. Like maybe someone might do it better and are willing to say that. Brave, bold, okay. Like show me then. Like, because also arrogance is I know how to do that better than you, and you need to figure it out.
True. It's not having the willingness to help others step into it. Gatekeepers.
Yeah, yeah, gatekeepers suck it.
Agreed. Well, speaking of gatekeepers, what advice would you give to someone afraid to step into leadership because they don't feel qualified or like they're enough?
Mm. If the opportunity is there, you are ready because it's been given to you, is one. Um, Two, we just said the strongest leaders show up with vulnerability and empathy. And so if you have been given this opportunity to be a leader, show up vulnerably and say, I don't know all of it. And I'm going to take a chance on myself. I'm going to take the dare because I believe that I can do it. And so, kind of the ones that are like, I don't know that I'm ready or qualified can be the best ones because they're the ones that are going to come in with the like teamwork first mentality. And then also be a leader in your life first. If you're not ready to take these things out, to the
Yes.
masses, because it is a responsibility, then where can you be the leader in your life? Where can you stand up for yourself? Where can you keep promises to yourself? Where can you like take ownership for things, be vulnerable, and just practice on yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's so good. I agree with you. And I think that that's the best advice you can give is to be your own leader in your own life before you can be a leader in any other aspect of life.
Yeah.
If you still have to ask somebody else or rely on somebody else's love to feel love for yourself, you're not ready to be a leader yet.
Mm-mm.
You
Yeah.
have to be ready to lead your own life, to lead others.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even think that I could top that.
No, I mean
But
that's so right. You have to lead your own life to lead others. You have to love yourself first. If you want to be a good leader, you have to love yourself.
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's so good because like how many people are leaders that have all of these people following them and they are not taking care of themselves. I'm like, you're instilling practices for like so many people follow you and like you're modeling such a unhealthy way. Like, that it just makes me so cringy.
Yeah.
Or feel so cringy. But yeah, for
Yeah,
the
I
ones to
agree.
say they're not ready or qualified, I'm like, that tells me that you are.
Right. Yeah. And whenever you feel that way, that's the imposter syndrome. Fight it. It's
Yes.
not something that's like unmanageable.
Facts.
So how do you stay grounded and soft then while you make bold decisions?
Mm, I attach it to purpose. Yeah, I make sure like is this a bold decision because I want to be seen? Is it a bold decision because I want to rebel against something? Or is this a bold decision because not a lot of people around me are doing it? I'm being called to make a bold decision on this. And So like that grounds me into purpose, and staying soft in it. We're still working on that. I'm a little, like, a little bit of a bull in the china shop of my life. But also always being willing to be like, oh man, I didn't do that the best way that I could have, or how I wanted to, or I didn't know how to. Like vulnerability is how I stay soft.
Yeah, absolutely. Vulnerability and empathy. They are great soft characteristics. But to make a bold decision, I do like that you attach purpose to it. You're right. Intent behind what you're doing is so important. If you're doing something with the right intention behind it, and you have a purpose and you have a goal behind your decision, you know that there's a start and there's a finish line, then you can make it soft along the way.
Yeah.
With presence.
Yes. Yeah. We are always like refining and realigning, redesigning Christy Mo. She was on our episode 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
By the time you see this. So yeah, check her out for sure.
16. She's our Chief Empowerment Officer.
Yes. Yeah. Another great episode about being, a leader in your life and how to do that. Man, I love that. This is like some really good, juicy stuff about leadership.
Right?
Yeah. Ooh. And I hope that y'all got some stuff that's like, you don't have to have some leadership title for you to be a leader. Like, these are things that you can apply today.
Yeah. Yeah, you can be a leader in many aspects of your life and choose whatever title you want.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Well, let's take a deep breath, Goddess Collective. Being a leader isn't about being the loudest or the most polished. It's about being rooted in your values, in your vision, and in your voice.
Yes. And when you lead from that place, you don't just inspire, you liberate others to rise too.
Yes. And that brings us to our new closing ritual, the Goddess Oracle.
The Goddess Oracle. I love it. Okay, Silver, complete this sentence for us. A true goddess never apologizes for
taking her space.
Facts.
I'm learning this one right now. And this is something I'm kind of teaching myself. A true goddess never apologizes for taking her space. If you are walking down a sidewalk and other people are in your way and you have to scoot over, don't apologize for it. You're just taking your space. You're a person.
Yeah. Oh, that's like a great example.
Yeah. If you need to ask the person at the grocery store where to find the crackers, don't say, thank you so much. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm sorry. Would you mind telling me where the crackers are? Don't say, hey, I'm sorry. Will you tell me where the crackers are? Say, hey, excuse me. Will you tell me where the crackers are?
Yes.
Don't apologize for your presence.
Right. Oh my gosh. Man, we do that all the time. Sorry, I just need to grab this. Sorry. It's like, no, you're just ask them, just say, excuse me, or whatever, or ask them to get out of the way or whatever.
Replace I'm sorry with excuse me.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. A true goddess never apologizes for vulnerability. She never apologizes for it. Vulnerably, I sucked at that. And then you just leave it at that. Yeah. Thank you.
You're doing amazing.
Or like vulnerably, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Just any of those. And because then and that's it. Like, you don't have to back it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's okay to be vulnerable. If anything, it's stronger. It makes you stronger to be vulnerable.
It is.
When I hear somebody tell me something honest and raw and real, I immediately connect with them way stronger than, hey, I'm doing well today. How are you?
Yeah, totally. Because I'm like, oh, okay, we got to get through like all the bullshit, and then I'll maybe like figure it out. And like, how are you? And it's like, oh man, I'm having a really hard week and I'm exhausted today. I'm like, oh no, how can I, like, what's going on? Or how can I support you? It just immediately gets you to connection.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I love that. All right, goddesses. So if you've been waiting for a sign that you're ready to lead, this is it. This is it. Congrats. You're here. You're here.
We made it.
Yes. The world doesn't need more perfect leaders. It needs more present ones, more honest ones, more heart-forward goddesses like you. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you so much, goddesses, for being your most authentic self, for taking the time to learn to love yourself and to step into your leadership role with the rest of us on our goddess journey. We are so excited to have you here.
Yes. Yeah, man. All these light workers and leaders, like, y'all, we're changing the world
We are.
together. So
We
thank
really
you.
are. And until next time, trust your intuition, lead with your soul, and stay sacred.
And as always, stay radiant
Stay empowered
and keep going, goddess.